impromptu speech. You prepare very little time, and you are going to deliver it. Especially if you are going to join a contest, then you don't have a lot of time to prepare. So you will have to quickly think of some of the suggestions and give the speaker. So you feel a little bit stressed, And then, but you also learn the most. Because being an evaluator, you are not going to pay attention to the speaker's content. Also, you have to jot down some notes about the delivery, and then you have to give great suggestions. So these are something that you are going to experience. And I have to say, learning by doing. If you haven't been an evaluator, then start to do it will help you improve your speech also, because you, by observing other people's speech, that you can start to think about how you can make your speech better. So this is a great process. And then tentative listening means you pay close attention to your speaker and the content. You not only point out their strengths, but also need to give feedback. I think that's the most valuable process. And then you have to apply your analytical skills. We are going to talk about that a little bit later. Let's just quickly take a look at the judging criteria if you join the contest. There are several parts. The first one is analytical quality. It's 40%. And then recommendations, 30%. These two are the most important part in your evaluation. It means you have to take a look at their content, the speech content the most. Then the technique. That means you have to deliver your speech. If you are an evaluation contestant, you have to show how you evaluate and give suggestions. And then your summation. By the end of the conclusion, you talk about summary of your speech, and also you give call to action. So these are some of the things when you join the contest. Even though you are not joining any contest, in club meetings, you can also practice evaluating other people's speeches. For example, today we have 4 speakers. So during their speeches, I would suggest you just prepare a piece of paper, jot down some notes, to practice what did I see something good from speaker A, speaker B, speaker C, and D, and what are some suggestions that they can improve. Practice from the meetings that you can improve better and better. My style is usually follow something like this. This is actually created by Josh and also Sunny in Legend and also in Linko. This is a very easy form. You can see that on the top, I wrote there is a line. I give my opening part, and then there is a line, vertical line. The left-hand side you see the strength, and the right-hand side you see suggestions, and also the last part is the conclusion. I also give specific time allocation for each part. Opening, I would suggest you can shorten it to only 30 seconds. So you won't focus too much on greeting people. You will focus more on the suggestion, because suggestion is the most important thing. The strength, you can use about 30 seconds to a minute. Then you use another 1 minute to 1 minute and a half to give suggestions. Why do we put a little bit more time here? Because every speaker, they already probably know their strengths and their advantages in speech. So if you want to help them to improve, you really need to give them some useful suggestions so they can immediately use those suggestions to help them become a better speaker. Conclusion part is very important to make sure that your evaluation is very clear, and then you summarize some important points that the speaker can remember, the audience can also learn from you. Some openings, I'm going to talk about different parts of the evaluation. Some opening can be like this. One is greeting. Some people greet people. Some contestants or some evaluators, They say, contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is my great honor to have this opportunity to evaluate Sarah's speech, blah, blah, blah. My style, I don't like this because it wastes a lot of time. You probably said that. It takes you about 30 seconds already. So forgive that. Go to the point directly. The second one, you talk about your own feelings, how much you like or how much you learn from the speech, from the speaker's performance. This is an example. I enjoy listening to your speech. There are many great qualities in your speech. In particular, blah, blah, blah. Also, furthermore, you can put your structure clearly and then put your point in an orderly way. So the speakers will get your ideas immediately. Sorry. Now let's take a look at the body. In the body, we focus on three areas. The first one is content. The second one is organization, and the third one is delivery. In the content part, you need to make sure, if you are an evaluator, you need to make sure the speaker has a very clear message, valuable message. In the speech contest, you have to make sure it has value in the speech. You probably can talk about your story, but why do we listen to you? What is the important part in your speech that we have to learn from you? So when you are a speaker, you need to make sure you have a message in your speech. And when you are an evaluator, you need to make sure the speaker clearly bring out the message. For example, if you are an evaluator, can you summarize the whole speech in one sentence? That's a very important thing. If you listen to a 7-minute speech, but you cannot conclude that in one sentence, maybe the content part is not as good. So you have to give some suggestions for the speaker. The second one, there are several styles in speeches. It can be, the purpose can be to inform, to entertain, to persuade, or to inspire. That means different type of speeches will bring different effects to the audience. Then you will have to make sure what type of speech the speaker is using and what is the objective that he would like to achieve. The third one, effective. You need to make sure if the speaker has certain ideas or messages that he wants to convey to the audience, have they received these messages? If you can make sure you yourself are convinced, then this probably is a very successful speech. The last one, during the meeting, we deliver a lot of speeches. If you are an evaluator, you need to make sure whether or not the speaker follows the manual, because each project has an objective. Maybe he is going to do a C4 speech. The C4 speech, the objective is how to say it. You need to make sure the speaker uses specific maybe words or style, or the way that he presented is going to make people buy his story and believe what he said. Different projects practice different objectives. Then if these speakers can practice these skills really well, then it's good for them to move on to the next project. Organization part, you have to think about whether this organization is very unique or very original. Is that interesting? Does it bring any surprises, suspense, or any humor? Some people during the contest, you can see they have a very creative opening. Immediately in the 30 seconds, the speaker grabs your attention. So you like this speaker already, and you want to listen more what he's going to tell you. Is the logic clear? The flow of the speech is very easy to follow or not? And the last one, does the speaker use any transitional words to help audience to understand the point clearly or not? Next is about the delivery. We talk about body language. In actually C6, you practice body language. So, and also you need to make sure, is this enough or this is too much? Some people use the stage really well, so they can walk around the stage to create different atmospheres or zones while they are describing certain stories in their own main message. Vocal variety. Does the speaker use any different types of tones or different voice while they are describing important messages or stories? The manner, if this speaker stands confidently on the stage, the position that he stands, and also the gesture he uses, and use of props. Some people use props like PowerPoint, or they handmade their props. Is this necessary, or you can actually get rid of it? Some speakers use, during their club meetings, they practice the speech, use a lot of PowerPoint. We try to encourage them not to use a lot of PowerPoint, because if you relied on it, then you probably will lose the focus on your own progress. You should focus more on how to improve your delivery skills, even without using PowerPoint. You can see so many world champions in their national, international contests. They don't even use any properties. So this is something that we can think about in our future speeches. When you are giving suggestions, I give you some examples. When people give suggestions, they only point out the thing they want to say, but they didn't have very clear expression. So the speaker may not be able to understand fully. So I'll give you an example. For example, the first one you can say, it's better to add dialogue. An evaluator probably can say that, but what can we do to make it better? It's better to add dialogue, because dialogue make your story more memorable. You give reason to tell the speaker, why do I need to change my style? The third one, it's better to add dialogue because dialogue make your story more memorable. For example, using blah, blah, blah. The third one shows that you don't just point out what to do. You give reason, and then you show them how to do it. It's the best suggestion that you can give to the speaker. Because some people, when they listen to your suggestions, they probably don't know how to do it well. So you can give your own interpretation and your own style to make this suggestion very, very useful. Immediately, they can benefit from it. For the conclusion part, we can also have different styles. I just give you some possible points that you can take a look. One thing, mention how you like the speech or are inspired by it. To conclude, I quite enjoy your speech. I was inspired by your strong belief in freedom, for all, and it has opened up my mind about the meaning of human rights. Something encouraging. You show your appreciation to the speaker. That will also build up the speaker's confidence. Then he will feel he is done something worthwhile for all the audience. The second one, provide a brief summary of your recommendations. Also another type. In summary, with all your great performance, as long as you can, ABC, these are three suggestions that you give. Only points out it. Don't talk about the details, because it's in the conclusion. You will be able to blah, blah, blah. And some evaluators say, congratulations, I look forward to your next outstanding performance. This sounds very encouraging, but I would like to suggest you take this part away, because it's a little bit cliche already. Many people use that. It becomes not convincing, not very sincere anymore. So you can create your own conclusion phrases to make sure that you help the speaker, but also you show your sincerity. The speaker will feel, I make a good friend with a senior member, that I learned something from him. My conclusion part here is practice, practice, and practice. Because when you have a lot of practice, you can become better. Practice makes perfect. And having your own style is okay. Join the contest will be a great exercise, great practice. You will feel that you learn so much. Last year, your member John won the champion in Division E, so he must have a lot of experience to share. You can talk to him. How did you do it? How did you win the contest? What's the feeling? This year, David won the speech contest in Division E. He's an excellent speaker. You can also learn from this great speaker. Learn from their tips, share, merge them, incorporate their skills into your speech. You'll become better. Then I'm going to talk about some do's and don'ts. Contest tips first. Remember to cover the speaker's content. That's very important. The message, the main idea. The second one, memorize only keywords, not the whole details. If you're going to join a contest, you probably cannot remember every word that you wrote. So, because when you go on the stage, it would be a better idea that you don't look at your script. So remember the structure that I showed you: opening, strength, suggestion, and conclusion. Only keywords that you can still remember it clearly when you are on the stage. Look at the people who are friendly in the audience, because when you look at them, you feel comfortable, so you don't be nervous. The third one, have your own evaluation sequence and get familiar with it. Practice several times before you actually go on the stage. Show your delivery skills too, because this is a mini speech, it's an impromptu speech, so you are also showing how to be a better speaker on the stage. Get comfortable on the stage. As long as you practice more, it will be better. Do something. To evaluate the speech, not the person. You cannot say this person. Don't talk about those value judgments. Don't talk about that. Talk about the speech content only. Do talk about relevant points about the speaker's speech. Some evaluators, they talk about their own stories too much. Totally irrelevant to the speech content, and you are wasting the time. To offer suggestions using phrases like, I think it would be better, or it would be nice if you do something. I suggest that you may consider blah, blah, blah. These two examples are showing you give suggestions by telling them what to do will bring a better result. I'm going to talk about the don'ts. Some people use the speaker did not do something, or failed to do something, or didn't seem to. When I hear didn't or not or failed to do something, I feel it's like a knife. You just step into the speaker's belly. So don't say those words, because you hurt the speaker's feelings. You can tell them what to change to become a better speaker. But don't hurt their feelings, because they also want to motivate them. The next part, to place emphasis on how to improve the speech instead of what was not good about the speech. Then, this is the same as what I just said. You offer 2 to 3 suggestions. If you can give 3, talk about 3. But think about the time. I just give you the time allocation in my previous page. If you see green card is on already, that means you probably will have to start the second suggestion. If not, then you have to really cut down some of your suggestions, because then you will have enough time to do the conclusion and close your evaluation. Some do's, more do's. You remember the evaluation is a mini speech. To mention the strengths and motivate the speaker. To evaluate it in a positive way. Only say positive things. Don't. Very important. Do not do this. Avoid. Don't use phrases like you should, you must, you fail to, or something wrong. These are very sensitive words, so don't hurt the feelings of the speaker. Don't talk about something that is beyond the speaker's ability to change. For example, you say the speaker's accent the speaker probably is a senior citizen that he or she cannot change the accent, or maybe the way she or he dressed today is not suitable for the speech. I probably wouldn't give suggestion out of that, because after the contest, after the meeting, I could talk to the speaker, but probably not during the evaluation. Don't repeat the content. Very important. Some evaluators, they repeat the speech content a lot. You have 3 minutes of evaluation, but you talk about 1.5 minutes or even 2 minutes to repeat the content. That means you don't have enough time to give suggestions. So cut down that part. You can give much more evaluation to the speaker so they can improve. It is not that you cannot repeat anything. While you are talking about the strength, you can mention it, but not to repeat the whole thing or give a summary, because we already heard the speaker's speech, so we know what's going on. If you repeat it, it's not helping the speaker and not helping the audience. Don't start with Tim gave a great speech. This is okay, I think, but a little bit cliche. Talk about the strength. Talk about your feelings. That will make it very unique and very original. Don't whitewash the speech. What does it mean, whitewash? It means you only talk about good things. The speakers probably won't learn much from that. So, especially when you say a lot of good things, but the speech is not very good, the speaker will feel you are not sincere at all. So, give constructive suggestions, useful suggestions. Don't ask the audience their thoughts. Some evaluators, they say, "What do you think? Do you like his speech?" Maybe it's a technique, but I don't suggest that, because you are the person who is doing the evaluation. So you are responsible for giving the most useful suggestion to the speaker, and you are practicing that for your own progress. So you can ask everybody during the break after the meeting, but not during the contest. So I think that's all for the point. Good. So that's all my suggestion and sharing with you. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a specific and very practical advice.